Vegas thinks we're signing Derrick Henry. Let's talk about it. So right now, according to Vegas odds, Derrick Henry, the chance of him signing with a team this offseason, the Patriots have the best odds possible for a team to sign him. 22.2% chance for the Patriots to sign him. The Bengals come in next at 16.7%. Then it's the Raiders, then it's the Giants, then it's the Titans, and as you can see down this list here, the Ravens, the Jets, the Vikings, Houston, and then the field. The field just means any other team not on the list you just saw. So, let's talk about this. Derrick Henry is 30 years old, right? That is usually the cliff when it comes to running backs sought to fall off. Usually it's like, okay, get your running back, have him till he's 30 years old, and then once he hits 30, wheels are falling off, ship him out, go get someone else new. And we already know that he's leaving Tennessee, so 90% chance he's not going to, come back to the Titans. He always said his goodbye speech. So should we sign him? Well, I made a video earlier today talking about Joe Mixon and how Joe Mixon, if we want to, we can cut him before March 16th and save $3 million. As of March 16th, if he's on our roster, we owe him a $3 million veteran guaranteed money, and he's on our roster for the 2024 season. So if we're going to make this decision, we have to make this decision before that said date. Now, free agency is, I believe it's March 13th this year. So we have like a little bit of time where we have that 3-day window where we could talk to Derrick, see if we want to bring him in, see how much money he wants, and all that kind of good stuff. Now, here's what I will say if he does hit free agency. Do I personally believe we should bring him in? No. I don't think with our problems, and you guys have said it down below, and I haven't really talked about as much, but our biggest problem is our offensive line. Is our run blocking with our offensive line, creating holes, opening up plays, and it's our play calling utilizing the running backs. So it's a mix of the two things here. Derrick Henry is a fantastic running back. He's one of the best in the league. Would he help us out? Yes, but we need to fix all the problems before we focus on just getting ourselves a veteran running back. Also, Joe Mixon is coming off a 1,300-yard season. The guy's a great running back. Yeah, he's not going to be the future. He's 27 years old, going to be 28 going into this year. But at the same time, Chase Brown's the future. This next year is going to be focused on getting Chase Brown the ball as much as possible and kind of gearing him toward being the future RB1. And in all honesty, in 2024, we're probably going to see Joe Mixon take a little bit of a step back. He's going to be the backup to Chase Brown, right? And if everything works out by the end of next season, Chase Brown will be RB1, RB2 will be Joe Mixon, and maybe RB3 potentially will be another running back we draft. I love the idea of going out there and getting a crazy great player, right? Like Derrick Henry or Austin Eckler. In all honesty, if I'm going to spend the money, though, I'm probably going Austin Eckler over Derrick Henry because Austin Eckler is such an amazing receiving back. So you can check it down in that backfield to him. You can line him up in the slot, have him do drag routes, just check the ball down. He gives you so much more opportunity. Derrick Henry can still catch the ball. He's just not as good as Austin Eckler is in really any way possible when it comes to catching. Derrick Henry can catch it, but he's not Austin Eckler. So, again, while yes, I think Derrick Henry would be a great addition to our squad, you got to first off fix the offensive line, right? Fix that whole system going on. And then you got to worry about running backs. And I know you might say, well, this is how you miss opportunities. Because if you don't focus on this position, the running back here, then you're going to miss it. Let us miss it then. Because we have to get our offensive line fixed. We have Joe Mixon. We have, Chase Brown. And again, we could potentially draft a third guy if we really wanted to. Or we could look at free agency, but maybe not go for the top names in free agency. I just don't see really. It's almost like how I said a million times, the Volson problem, right? And I call it the Volson problem. But if we took a new left guard, let's say we went to free agency, right? And we took a new left guard and we put him in at that left guard position over Volson, he would probably be set up for. He would probably be, even if he was like a really good above average somewhere else, he would probably look exactly like Volson in our system. And the reason why is because we're not fixing anything. We're putting a Band-Aid on the problem and saying, okay, there you go, we fixed it. No, you didn't fix anything. You put a Band-Aid on a problem and you're trying to call it fixed. Getting Derrick Henry is putting a Band-Aid on the problem. The problem is the offensive line. You gotta fix that. Then you can fix the other positions around the offensive line. We have a capable player in Joe Mixon and Chase Brown to be a good RB1 and 2. And behind a great offensive line, those two guys could easily be Pro Bowlers. Both of them. Right? So that's what we need to work on. I do agree. Again, Derrick Henry would be a great option. Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs. You list a running back in the top running backs in free agency. Yes, you go out there and get yourself a star running back. That is going to be an amazing addition to your squad. You also got to keep in mind, though, money. In a perfect world, we could get all these running backs. We could get every running back we want. You get a running back, you get a running back, you get a running back. Right? But that's not the perfect world we live in. Jamar Chase needs a contract. T. Higgins needs a contract. DJ Reader needs a contract. Tyler Boyd, if we bring him back, needs a contract, right? You got Cheeto. If we bring him back, he needs a contract. Go down the list. There's a lot of players who need contracts. When you give money to Derrick Henry, you're taking away that money from somewhere else. This isn't imaginary money that pops out of nowhere. This comes from somewhere. This comes from the fund that goes toward their contracts. I love the idea of making a splash money in free agency. But I think right now, what we have to do is focus on our priorities and not try to put Band-Aids different places and call them fixes for certain problems. I think Joe Mixon and Chase Brown is fairly capable enough to go out there and play great football for us if we fix the structure that keeps everything together. Every single team, the best thing about them is their O-line and their D-line. You get a good O-line, you can run the ball with any running back out there. I promise you, you might not look as good without Derrick Henry, but you're going to look really good with any running back if you have a good O-line. You're going to be able to throw the ball, have time to throw the ball with a good O-line. If you lost that Chiefs game, the final drive, where Jake Browning was getting sacked left, right, center, every single freaking play, if we had Derrick Henry in that situation, what would have changed? And they were all starters out there. Kappa, I know, got hurt and he came back in. But you had Kappa, you had Jonah, you had Teddy K, you had Volson, you had Orlando Brown. Tell me what would have changed if you had Derrick Henry in that situation. Would Derrick Henry have stopped them from sacking Jake Browning within 10 milliseconds on 4 plays in a row? Would Derrick Henry have stopped, us getting sacked as much as we have this year? Or Clowney hitting Joe and then obviously the injury happening? We can put Band-Aids on every living thing possible, but it's not going to fix it. Fix your root problem, then focus on perfecting things. That's just my cup of tea. See you guys next one. Peace out.